Very good morning, students. In the previous class, we have seen about object class, right? And how to declare a class, how to declare the members of the class, how to access the members of the class, and how to define the member functions in a class, inside of the class, outside of the class, and various access specifiers we have seen, right? Like public, private, protected, right? So in today's lecture, we'll discuss about friend function. So what is the use of the friend function? What is the importance of the friend function? So then, why we have to go for the friend function? Already we have discussed it. We have the we have the access specifiers like public, private, protected. So what is private, right? If you declare any member of a class as a private here, that member is accessible within a class, okay, within a class only, right? Within a class or by its public members of that class, right? So that is public member of the class or access by the public member of that class that is accessible within the class itself. So outside environment, you cannot access that private members of any class here. In some situations, there is a need of accessing private members of a class, right? By the outside functions or outside class or outside environment. In such a case, what we have to do? Okay, so we have one of the feature in C++ that is friend function, right? So if you want to access a private member of a class by outside environment, maybe function or maybe class, so you have to make that class or function as a friend to that class, right? So in order to make it, we have a keyword friend, right? So that that other function or other class can access the private members of that class. That is, whichever friend function or friend class can access the private member of that class, right? So that is a use of this friend function, right? So even though the prototypes of friend function appear in the class definition, friends are not member functions here, right? So it can be taking normal function without using an object. And here, like other functions, generally if you have a any member function of a class, how do you access the member function of a class? By using class of object name dot function, right? But if you have a friend functions, we no need to use any object name directly. We can call those friend functions, right? And it cannot access the member names directly and has to use object name and dot operator, right? So membership operator we have to use here. And one more point you can see here. So it can be declared either in private or public part of the class here, right? So class will have the public part and private part. So this member function can be declared either in public or private part here. You can see here the syntax how to declare a friend function, right? So or you can here class is a keyword, you know, and it is the name of the class, right? So it is just like a class declaration. And within this, one of the member, I'm declaring it as a friend function here. You can see here, friend function. Friend is a keyword here. And data types, that is a return type of the function, name of the function, and number of arguments, right? So this is the, then this function becomes friend to that particular class. That is, so when a function is friend to that class, which can access all private members of that class by using friend function. So you can see this example program, how to access the private members of the class. You can see here, we have declared a class box, right? Within this double width, right? By default, will becomes a private member. So the default access specifier in C++ is private. So that's what double width is a private. You can see here, private, and public member is print width, right? So and it is a friend function, friend, right? So it has a parameter as an object here. So object is box is a class name, box is an object here, right? So object parameter, and another function is non-friend function void set width, and it is is having one parameter double here. So these are two member functions which are declared in the class box here, but one is friend function, another one is non-friend function, right? So now we have to define this member functions. How do you define this member function? So it is anyway it is a non-friend function. We can define outside of the class. How do you define the outside of the class? By using class name, scope resolution operator, and function name. So void is the return type of the function. Box is the class name because it belongs to the class, and set width is a function name which is having one parameter, right? And we are initializing width equal to WID because it is a public member of the class box, so it can access this data member width, right? So there is no issue because every private member of a class can be accessed by the public member of the same class, right? So we know. So that is what it can directly access width is a data member because set width is a public member of the same class and it is initialized with some value which you will pass from the calling environment. Next one is void print width. It is a friend function. Here we are not using any class name here. This definition of this function is similar to our normal function, right? So void print width, and it is having parameters and object, right? Box object here. Cout, right? So width of boxes, so you can say box dot width. See, box is the what here, name of the object, and width is what here, data member. Because it is a friend function, we are directly accessing data member from the outside environment, and simply we are displaying this one here. We can directly display this here. Study NDL. So next, box object we have created, and box one dot set width here. We are passing the parameter double 10.0. See here, set width is a non-friend function which is called by using the object name. That is a box one dot set width, and we are passing the parameter 10 here, right? So then this function will be called. This function set width is what here, non-friend function. But because this is a friend function, to call this friend function, we no need to use object name here. Directly we can call just like our normal function here. Print width. We are not using any object name here before this one here, not to call this function. So print width and passing the object. So that is box one as an objective. So then this function will be called and this function will get executed and finally return 0 here. This is about how the friend function will work here, right? Next, let us see how to make a class friend to another class here. So here we have the two classes, that is class A and class B, right? So in which what I am doing is just I am making class B as a friend to the class A, so that the class B can access the private member of class A here. That is the concept of this code, right? So in which we have the private member A and public member is A is basically it is a constructor here, right? So what is constructor? We will discuss in the next class. So basically it is a constructor which is just like our normal member function, but its name is same as our class name here, right? So this constructor will be called automatically when object of this class is created here, right? And which is initializing the private member A equal to 0 here. And within this, you have declared by using keyword friend a class B. So I'm making class B as a friend to the class A here. So this is friend class here. Now class B definition. Okay, so class B, in which again we have the private member, that is int B here. It is a private member of the class B. Now again it is having the public member show A, right? So it is a member function, and to which we are passing object of the class A here, object reference, right? So this is A because we are creating object of the object reference of the class A here. So then here std out A scope resolution of A equal to x dot A. So here A is what basically private member of the class A. So where we are using here in the class B. So the class B is able to access the private member of class A because we made class B as a friend of the class A, and by using the object of the class A, right? So that is, this is about friend class here. And now we can create an object pointers to the pointer object A equal to A. This is the object pointer. Object A is created. Object pointer B is also created by using class B. Now B dot show, and I am passing object pointer A as a parameter, right? So because you can see here in this we are having the reference, right? So that is what I am passing A as a parameter. After that, delete object A and then delete object B and return 0, right? So we have the new and delete operators for dynamical allocation of the memory. So delete operator deallocation memory which is allocated for object A and B. So next one is static members, right? So what is the use of these static members basically, right? So we can define any members of a class as a static here. It can be a member variable or it can be a member function, right? So what happened when we declare member of a class as a static, right? So generally when we declare normal non-static members, right? So for when suppose if a class is having non-static members here, and when we create object of that particular class, right? For every object, one copy of those members will be created. That is, for each object creation, separate memory will be allocated for each member, right? So sometimes, and when we declare the members of a class as a static here, only one copy of that member is created, okay, irrespective of number of objects we have created, right? So that is all object of that particular class can share only one copy of that static member, right? So that is a concept of the static members, right? So here you can see when we declare a member of a class as static, it means no matter how many objects of class are created, there is only one copy of the static member is created, right? All static members are shared by all objects of the class. That means whatever object, if you create 10 objects of that particular class, if it is having one static member, so only one copy of that static member shared by all 10 objects, right? So for each object there won't be a separate copy of memory will be allocated, right? So that is happening only for non-static members. And all static members basically are initialized to 0 here when the first object is created, right? If no other initializations are present, right? So we cannot put in the class definition, but it can be initialized outside of this class here by using the scope reservation operator, right? So this you can see here. So in this example, we have a static class, static demo. We have the two members. One is X, that is a non-static variable, that is a non-static member of the class static demo, and static int Y, it is a static variable, right? That is a static member of the class static demo here. So these are defined outside of the class here. You can see these are defined outside of the class. That is, these are initialized outside of the class here. In static demo, this is the scope resolution operator, and it is X is equal to 10 here. Because it says that the member X belongs to class static demo here, right? And its type is what? Data type is int here. That is X equal to 10. That is valid. And here in static demo and Y is what here again? Static variable, which is initialized to the file by 5, right? So here, if you not initialize this Y by 5, by default it is initialized with 0 here. Default which is initialized with 0, right? Because we can explicitly initialize with some value. So that means which is the static variable Y is storing the value 5. Now let us go for the main function. Let us create object here. So how many objects we have created? Static demo, SG1, SG2, SG3. 3 objects we have created, right? By using these 3 different objects, call the members of the class, static members and non-static member. What is a non-static member? X here. You can see here, ST1 dot X equal to 20, SD2, that is the second object, dot x equal to 30, and SD3 dot x equal to 40, right? Now call the static member SD1 dot y equal to 6, SD2 dot y equal to 7, SD4 dot y equal to 8, right? Because x is non-static member, for every object one copy of x will be created, right? So SD1 can store its own value, that is 20 will be stored here. SD2 object can store its own value of x here, that is because separate memory is allocated for x in object SD2. And SD3, that is the third object, it will store the value of 40 here. So which will display 20, 30, 40. But whereas y is what here? Static variable. So which will create only one copy of that memory. That's what all objects must share the same copy. So because of that reason, you can see here SD1 dot y equal to 6, right? So which is initialized with value 6 now. Initially it was 5. 5 is replaced by 6, right? Next one. Again SD2 dot y equal to 7, because same copy is shared by SD2 also. The same value 6 is replaced by 7 here now. Again SD4 dot y here equal to 8. So again 7 is replaced by 8 here, because only one copy is created here. Because only one copy is created. There is no other possibility. That means you can see here so you can see only one copy will be created, right? So that is what. So these 3 copies of x will be created, but only one copy of y will be created, because y is a static number. When we display the values of these SD1.x, SD2.x, SD3.x, so this will print 3 different values 20, 30, 40. But here SD1.y, SD2.y, SD3.y, only we are accessing this static number by using 3 different values, but only one copy is there. So what is the final value of y here? 8, right? And then the final value stored is 8. So that means all the 3 will display the values 8, 8, 8. You can see output is 8 here and return 0. So that is the use of the static variables, right? So similarly, we can also declare member function as a static. You can see here a C++ program to demonstrate static member function. So in which I am using index is a non-static variable and y is a static variable, and this is a non-static member function, non-static function here, and this is static void static function. So this is the static member function here. So here this program to demonstrate non-static variables and static member functions. So one static variable y and the static member function static function, right? And these can be initialized x equal to 10 and the static demo scope resolution operator y equal to 5. So this is because this members are initialized with value 10 and 5, right? So y is what? Static variable. Next, definition of these members can be defined outside of the class. So, right? How to define? So by using void. First, let us define the non-static member function. Void static demo non-static function, simply which will display cout x and y values. Current x and y values are displayed here. These are valid. And we can also call the static function from the non-static function. There is a possibility of calling the static function from the non-static member function. You can call static function, right? So this is a function called statement. Now define the static member function. This is the static member function. So write its definition by using class name here. So again, void return type. So void is a return type of the function. Static demo is the name of the class because it represents in which class the function is belongs to, and scope resolution operator. And this is the static function. Its definition is std y here, right? So because every static member function can access the static member variable, right? So that is what here std out cout y. Y is what here? Static member function. It is a valid statement. Right. So now you can see here in this example, you can see int static demo SD1 object is created. Now we have non-static function. This non-static function is called by using object here. Class object name dot non-static function. But whereas static member functions, we no need to call by using the object name, right? You can call by using the class name itself here. So this is static demo is the class name, and it is a scope resolution operator static function. This is static function can be called here return 0. So what it displays here? What it displays? The non-static function displays the values of x and y, and static function displays the value of y, right? So this is about static member functions. So similarly, we have the constant members. So we can declare variables as constant, or member functions also constant, right? So once if you declare members as a constant here, it can be a data member, so its value cannot be changed, right? And if you declare any member function as a constant here, right? So which cannot modify of data of any constant member variables as well as non-constant members also. Okay, you cannot modify the data of non-constant members as well as constant members, right? Suppose if you want to modify the non-constant members data, you have to make it as a mutable, right? You have to make that member mutable so that you can change the non-constant member values by using constant member functions. And you can also make object also as a constant here. So once if you declare object as a constant, that object details cannot be modified, right? So this is about, let us see, demonstrate how we can use the constant. See, again, class constant demo, we have declared these are public here, public members. In text, it is a non-constant variable, and constant int y, it is a constant variable. So these two are data members, one is non-constant, another one is constant here. And constant demo is the constructor here. I'm using constructor, already I told you, constructor is nothing but it is a special member function, but its name is same as the class name. Okay, member function name is same as the class name, and which is automatically called when object of the class is created here, right? So we no need to write a separate function call statement, right? And in which we are initializing x equal to 10 and y equal to 20 here. Now this x is non-constant variable and y is constant variable. This initialization is possible when object is created, because automatically this constructor is called, and within the constructor these variables are initialized, right? By some value. Now go for the main, close the class and go for the main function and create an object of the constant demo. So CD object is created and cout cd.x will be printed and cd.y will be printed, because these x and y are public members. So that's what we can access directly from outside environment. So you can see these declared as public members. If you declare these are private members, it's not possible, because private members of class cannot be directly accessed. Because x and y we have declared as a public, we can directly access here. Now you are trying to change cd.y++. Y++ is nothing but you are trying to change the value of y. But y is declared as what here? Constant, right? So is it possible to change here? No, it's not possible here. So constant variable values cannot be changed here. So you will get an error here. Finally return 0. The current value of x and y only will be displayed by using this program. So 10, 20 will be displayed. So similarly, constant function, like how you declare the constant variable, you can also declare the constant function here. So let us see. We have the constant, non-constant variable x. Again, class constant demo is declared. These are public members. Constant integer y here. So it is a constant variable. That is a constant data member. Variable we can also call it. These two are data members. And this is constructor constant demo. Again, same procedure, x equal to 10, y equal to 20. So this constructor we are using for initialization of x and y values with initial value. Next, constant void display. Void display, it is a constant member function. It is a constant member function here. So within the constant member function, and it is a public member function of the same class, which is defined inside of the class itself here. It can access x and y values, which can display the as is x and y values. Cout x value and y value will be displayed. But here you are trying to change the value of x here, right? X plus plus, because it is a constant function. This constant function cannot change the value of any members, right? It can be a non-constant member or it can be a constant member. But actually here x is a non-constant variable. Even it is a non-constant variable, its value cannot be changed, right? Because you are doing this operation in the constant member function, right? So this is a good constant member function. So what the constant member function does here? The constant member function does not change the values of any members. It can be a constant or constant member, or it can be a non-constant member. So if you want to try to change the value of a non-constant member, you have to make it as a mutable variable, so that you can do changes. That example I will show in the next slide here. And finally, so close the class, and you can call constant demo CD object, and you can call even the constant member functions also called by using class name, sorry, object name. So CD object dot display here, which will display current value of x and y here. So in the next slide, we will see how to change the value of x by using constant function, right? So that you can, in such a case, what we have to do is, see, you can see here, previously the variable x is declared as a normal index here. Now we have declared as mutable. Mutable means you can change the value of x by using the constant member function here, and this is a constant variable y. This is the normal constructor which is used for initialization of x and y values, right? So which is initializing x equal 10 and y equal 20. So already you know constructor will be called automatically when an object of the class is created here. That is, when object CD is created, automatically this constructor will be called and initializing x and y values. And this is a constant member function here, constant void display. Here you are trying to change the value of x. So when this will work out, because the x is declared as a mutable here, right? Here because x is what? Non-constant member. So the non-constant member value we can change only when you declare it as a mutable. Mutable is a keyword. Mutable is a keyword. So because we have declared x as a mutable, we can change the value of x by using constant member function, right? So which will display the value of x and y as. So this is about constant member functions. And constant object, you can also declare object as a constant here. Now class constant demo, and here again constant member y, and this is a constructor. We can call it as a parameterized constructor, right? Because which is having the parameter, one parameter, right, in P here. So previously we used the constructor, those are default constructors. So again we will discuss about various types of constructors later, but for your knowledge I am telling here. So one parameter is a constructor which we are passing, and we are initializing x with the p, and y is initialized with 20 here. So that is initial value of y here, and this is a constant function, member function, which will display x and y values. And here we are using the mute function, right? So this is mute function which is trying to change the value of x, right? So then incrementing the x is what here, it is a normally non-constant member variable, right? So which can change value here, return x here, right? Close. So we have the three functions here. One is constructor, another one is constant, another one is non-constant function here. And close the class. In the next slide, we will see how to create a constant object. Now, the constant object, constant demo. This is the class name. CD1 is a normal object here. It is not a constant object here. So we are not using any constant keyword, but it is a CD2 is a constant object because we are using the keyword constant here. Constant object CD2 of 10 here, right? So here we are calling the display function by using two objects, CD1.display, CD2.display, and we are simply accessing the members of the class, that is x and y. Because these are declared as a public, we can directly access by using non-constant object, CD1.x and CD1.y, right? CD1.x and CD2.y we can access it. Now we are trying to call CD1.new, right? So because CD1 is a non-constant object, we can call the new function which can increment the value, because it is a non-constant function which can increment the value and which can return the value of increment. That is, if you pass a value of 10, which will return as the 11. So 11 will be printed. Next, we are trying to call CD2 mute here. Because CD2 is a constant object, we are trying to call non-constant member function, right? So which gives an error with respect to the constant object. We can call mute, but mute alters some value which is not constant with respect to this object, because mute is there. So mute is the function, non-member function. Sorry, mute is the member function, right? So, but which is having some value. What is that? X here. It is trying to change the value of x. X is what? Non-constant variable here. So, because any non-constant variable, if it is trying to change, you will get an error, because CD2 is a constant object here, right? And finally return 0. So this is about constant members, right? So in the next class, we'll see about constructors. Thank you.